The issue of white grievance not going away, and Trump will maintain a very loyal level of support. Many of his supporters, as I said, are furious. And if Mr. Trump does not get the nomination, the stay-home factor in next November's vote is likely to be substantial.
Let's debate that point. Making a bold prediction, O'Reilly, is about what Donald Trump's army of supporters will do in November if their man is not the man who gets the nomination. Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. Matthew Littman, a political consultant, former speechwriter for Vice President Joe Biden. Matt and Matthew, good day to both of you. Matt's in D.C., Matthew's in L.A. Matt, start. The stay-home voter. What do you think about that as we sit here today?
I think it's a big problem. I think Bill O'Reilly has really put his finger on it. I think so much of this bill is about what Donald Trump decides to do. If Donald Trump obviously gets the nomination, he's going to be plenty happy. If he doesn't get it, does he endorse? You know, Ronald Reagan in 1976 lost that grueling nominating contest to Gerald Ford, but he stood up there at the podium, put his arm around Gerald Ford, and endorsed him. If that happens, my party's going to be okay. If we don't get that moment, my party has a big problem.
See, okay, all right, okay. So, Matthew, what is your sense of that coming from your side of the political ledger, as to whether or not these wounds, as to whether or not the wounds can heal in 7 months?
Well, here's the problem. If Trump doesn't get the nomination, then there are people who won't support the Republican nominee in the Republican Party. If Trump gets the nomination, there are a lot of Republicans who won't support Trump, who won't support the other nominee. So in other words, either way, if Trump is the nominee, you have a lot of people who aren't going to support him in the Republican Party, right? So which is a bigger group, the disaffected Trump people or the people who don't want Trump to be the nominee?
Okay, Matt, that's kind of a riddle thrown back in your lap. What do you think it is? Is it A or is it B?
Well, I understand what Matthew's trying to say, but let's just look at the facts in Wisconsin. We're going to have the biggest turnout we've had since 1980, over 30 years. We have double the requests for pre-voting and absentee voting than we've had even in the last cycle. So we have a huge turnout, and we're seeing this in state after state. When Obama and Clinton went after each other in 2008, a lot of people predicted that would be bad for the party. It ended up being good for the party, that bruising contest where Hillary Clinton actually got more votes and didn't get the nomination. I think there's a chance that even though this is bruising, this actually turns out to be good for the Republican Party.
Oh, Matthew?
Matt, could I ask Matt a question?
Please.
A lot of Republicans, 30%, say they won't vote for Trump if he's the party's nominee.
Now that's an interesting
Isn't that
point
right?
there.
So how do you see?
All right, Matt, if that is true,
right?
What do you think they do over the next 7 months? Are they converted or not?
Well, here's what Matthew's not saying, Bill, which is there are a lot of people that are both anti-Trump and anti-Cruz. What's going on in the party is our top two, the people that are doing best with real people out there are not necessarily that popular with the people that have always run these things and run the party. And this is an attack on Washington, an attack on a lot of these former leaders. And that's something that just is present in my party. And I think that's actually something that could be good for my party. And what do these people do in the end? They look at Hillary Clinton, who has very high unfavorables, even amongst Democrats, and they're going to pull the lever for the nominee.
Okay.
But that's not true. So far,
Matthew,
the polls show that that's not the case, right?
Let me query you both on this, okay? This is what O'Reilly said last night. I played the tape if we have it, but we don't. According to the Washington Post, Donald Trump is favored by 50% of Republican voters who make less than $50,000 a year, and most of them are men. What that is, Matthew, that is economic wage stagnation. And you can trace that back 16 years. And these are the people who are ticked off. They're not going to leave Trump.
Well, if you're asking me, it actually goes back longer than that in terms of the economic stagnation. It goes back to the 1970s. And yeah, I think there are a lot of those people who are going to support Trump, but there's a ceiling on that. And there aren't enough of those people to carry Trump in a general election. Every poll shows that Hillary is about a 10-point victor over Trump. Sanders is a 15-point winner over Trump. So I don't know how you make up for that. Trump, remember, with women, 75% view Trump unfavorably. Minorities view Trump unfavorably. More than 50% of Americans say that Trump they'd be embarrassed if he was a candidate. I don't know how you make up for that, so I don't see the...
I got it. If he's the candidate, Matt, final point here, he's got some ground to make up.
Definitely does.
Could he?
Yeah, absolutely. He did this at the beginning of the Republican contest. And back to Matthew, you know who has the second most unfavorable ratings in the country in every poll? Hillary Clinton. So the fact is this, you guys got big trouble on your side, too.
Matthew,
I don't see it that way because Hillary's beating Trump in every poll.
Come on.
Well, I'm confused between Matt and Matthew, but I hope the best of you. Have a great day, and as you were, okay? Thank you, gentlemen.
Matthew
Thanks,
is the
Phil.
one who's right.